Very good evening from London. Has been another quiet summer session with equity markets in the US trading relatively range bound. We did open higher, but again since then and the latter part of the session we have just been trending in the relatively tight range we have for equity futures today. Otherwise, attention has been turned to the fixed income market. We had the long end issuance out of the US, $16 billion in 30-year notes, another poor auction out of the US Treasury, selling with a yield tail today and a softer bid to cover. Again, as noticed with the 10s yesterday, direct bidders taking a very small size of this auction. There was a concessionary yield being touted as we saw a sell-off from the 10-year notes into the auction, but post the auction and the initial moves to the downside because of the yield tail, we did rally quite significantly, coming back towards the top end of the range for the fixed income market, particularly in the long end, as the fixed income markets have a dearth of supply out of the US until the latter part of August, where we only have 2 5s and 7s, so the shorter end of the curve. So very little in terms of supply for the long end of the curve, and we have seen a rally then in the latter part of the US Treasury market, with the 10-year note future coming back towards the session highs at the pit close. Looking elsewhere, we did have the US trade balance data earlier out in the session showing a healthy fall from the previous for the US trade balance, and also a good rise in the exports figure, which has prompted speculation of an increase in the US GDP figure in terms of optimism to the upside for the reading later on in the year. In terms of trade balance, also China come up with their trade balance overnight, which would gain market focus, given that we are expecting a fall in the exports and a rise in the imports from the previous in terms of the Chinese data, which may gain focus. Also, we're looking out still for the Chinese money supply, which has been scheduled throughout this week, and tomorrow the last chance for that data to be released this week. One worth thing noting in Europe, we did see the French Constitutional Court. They gave a ruling that the constitution in France does not need to be changed in order to pass the fiscal pact, so that does now pass the parliament, and that is expected to be ratified relatively shortly. France, one of the bigger nations to have still yet ratified that fiscal pact, so this could bring some positivity back into the euro, which has seen some sliding throughout the session today. That's enough from me. Hope you've had a good trading day, and we'll join you for the final trade day of the week tomorrow early in the morning. Thank you.